Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Scrabble R by Palfly Kampling. So we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, so in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have this green line in the grid. This is a German whisper line, and it is 6x6 German whisper rules. So adjacent digits on the line have a difference of at least 3. What does that mean? Well, if this was a 2, for example, then these two are adjacent on the line. And so this needs to be at least 3 different from 2. So it could be a 5 or a 6 only. 6 is 4 different, that is at least 3. 5 is 3 different, that's at least 3. A 4 would be 2 different, which is not at least 3. That doesn't work. If the 2 were here, these are next to each other. It's just the ones that are next to each other in the line. So this would also be 5 or 6 if that was a 2. All right, and we also have slingshots. So we have these bent arrows in the grid. If it's present in a cell, then the digit in the cell the arrow comes from also appears in the direction of the arrow at a distance n cells, where n is the number in the arrow's cell. So let's go through an example. If row 6 column 1 is a 4 and row 5 column 1 is a 3, then 3 cells away, 1, 2, 3, at row 5 column 4, that will also be a 4. So it reads the digit that the arrow is coming from. So it's coming from this digit, and it's slingshotting it this way around the corner. And this is how much it moves it. And so 3 would be 1, 2, 3, right? And that places this digit also there. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. All right, with German Whispers, the first thing I like to do is color. Now, what are we coloring? Well, let's talk about it. I'm going to make this green and this purple, and I'll explain why in a second. Just right now. So German whisper lines always alternate low, high, low, high. Low being a 1, 2, 3, high being 4, 5, 6. The difference of 3 is specifically tuned for that, which is why it changes depending on your grid size. So let's say this digit, whatever it is, was from the 1, 2, 3 range. If it was low, then the one next to it needs to be at least 3 different. How do we get 3 different from 1, 2, 3? Well, if you think about it, you're going to have to end up being either a 4, 5, or 6, no matter what. Now from 4, 5, 6, the one next to it, we're going to make that green again because it would then need to go back down to the 1, 2, 3 range. So we're either, if it's a low, we're going to be adding at least 3. And if it's a high, we're going to be subtracting at least 3. A low can't subtract 3. A high can't add 3. But we don't know if it's low or high, but we do know they alternate. So what I can do is I can just alternate my colors here around the R, and we end up with this. And so now it's pretty clear to see that we have 3 purples in this box, for example. Now, there are 3 low digits, 1, 2, 3, and 3 high digits, 4, 5, 6. So in this box, we should expect to see 3 greens and 3 purples. Well, these are the 3 purples, so these have to be green. And it's also going to be true of every row and column as well. So this column has 3 greens, so this is going to be purple. What else can we do? There's 3 purples in this column, so these are all green. 3 greens in this box make these purple. All right. So this is already interesting for our slingshot, although the rest of this is purple. So maybe that I would have already, well, let's deal with the rest of the coloring first if we can. This is one of each, but we don't know the order. I don't think. This is slingshotting a green. No, it's slingshotting whatever this is. Sorry. Okay, let's think about this slingshot because it's moving this purple somewhere around here. And so it's got to move either 4 or 5 away. So this is definitely 4 or 5, which makes purple the high. Now, in my mind, I like to use orange for high and blue for low. It's just really natural for me because I've done it for so long. So we're just going to say that. Now, we could have also looked at this arrow and said, well, you can only fling 1 or 2 over. And so obviously this is a 1 or a 2, and that makes that low. So that does line up with our observations. So whatever this is ends up over here. Makes sense. That's kind of would be true anyway. So the other thing we can think about with German whisper lines is where 3s and 4s can't go. Is probably a better way to put it than can go. So for example here, could this, we know it's low, but could it be 3? 3 is a low digit, so why not, right? Well, even just looking at the column, this cell is next to 2 different digits. And so But the problem is 3 can only be next to 6. It's the only digit that is at least 3 away from 3. So these would both end up 6 and it would repeat in the column. So this has to be a 1 or a 2. It cannot be the 3. I'm putting the 3 in one of these two cells. Making one of these a 3. Now, can this be a 3? No, because anytime a cell sees two others in the same row, column, or box, where these two are in the same box in this case, it can't be a 3 or a 4. 4 has the same issue. 4 can only be next to 1. So this is not the 3. And that places a 3 there. That places 3 here. Now remember, 3 has to be next to 6. Now this is actually next to 3 different digits in the box. And so it has to be a 1 because it's going to be next to a 4. If it's next to 3 different digits, one of them will be a 4, and that's going to have to go next to the 1. If this was the 4, these would both be 1. If this was the 4, then these would both be 1. So I guess one of these two is a 1 is kind of my point. Sorry, we know this is blue. Maybe that'll help. Given 1 there. I don't know how much we're slingshotting this guy. I don't know what this value is. Okay. Let's look at the rest of this column. So this is a 4-5 pair. Right, this has to be the 6. So we're slingshotting the 6 over here somewhere. Which is just true anyway of Sudoku. This is the 2 and the 1. That makes this a 2. Now 2 can't be next to 4, so that's 5 and 4, and that makes that a 1. So whatever this digit is, it ends up exactly here. So let's just green that to remind ourselves that these two are the same digit. This is a 6. 6 can be next to anything, but this can only be a 2 for the column. And so that makes this 1, 4, 5. Now this can't be the 1, so it has to be orange. This is blue, and it's a 1. This is a 2, 3 pair now. One of these two is a 2. Are we flinging the 2? No, we're not flinging the 2. So this cannot be the 2. This is the 2. So that's blue. That makes this orange, which makes this orange. And you know it's a 5 or a 6. Okay. Really would like to know where the 6 ends up down here. We also have this arrow, and I'm not sure what to do with it yet. Up here we need 3, 4, 5. And this 6 ends up down here. Oh, yeah. So we're 6 in the box. That's 6 and that's 6. Okay. We don't need that green anymore. And so that places the 6 here. So that means it was flung by 5. That resolves those digits. We're getting there. This is 3, 4, 5. This can't be the 4. This is 3, 5 only. This can't be 5. So this is 3, 4 only. 1 in this box is placed right here, and it's blue. 2 looks down. 2 looks in. That places the 2 here, and that's also blue, giving us 3 and 2 here. So this is a 3, 4 pair, and this has to be the 5, and it's orange. That is not a 5. So what's going on here? This is a 4 for sure. That's not a 4. So we're down to 3, 5 here. So this 3, 5 is getting flung 3 or 5. Well, if it was flung 3, it would have to be a 2, and it's not. So it is flung by 5, and that makes this 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3. And let's just finish our coloring here. So the 5s and the 4s and the 5 are orange. The 3s are all blue. And then we're done. Cool puzzle. I liked the combination of the slingshots with the German whispers. That was neat to be able to like color a lot of the grid and then have the slingshots kind of move those colors around. That was really neat. And then I think that this one here just resolved kind of a deadly pattern in this stack. All right, cool. Well, let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.